Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well. It's Tuesday morning and we've got breaking news. Yes, Bryan Mbeumo has been officially announced by Man United. He's getting the number 19 shirt. Man United have officially signed Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford in a deal worth 71 million, 65 million up front, plus another 6 million in add-ons. The 25-year-old Cameroon international has agreed a 5-year deal until 2030 with an extension option in place. Mbeumo lit the Premier League up last season with 20 goals and 7 assists, making him the 4th top scorer in the league. He's a versatile forward. He can operate both on the right wing and as a centre forward. Exactly what Ruben Amorim's attacking 3-4-3 formation demands. He's going to be an absolute star at United. I can see it. 20 goals, 7 assists in 38 Premier League appearances. That's insane. That is insane. Who would have thought that we'd be able to track someone like this after finishing bottom half of the Premier League, not getting into Europe and just languishing? Our team is just all over the place, and yet we're attracting players like this guy, and I'm shocked we actually signed him. I'm shocked no other club came in and tried to hijack this deal, because there was talks behind the scenes that other clubs were looking at this, trying to hijack the deal, but the one thing that kept them away was the Bryan Mbeumo statement saying that he wants to play for United or nobody. That is why they stayed away, or otherwise they would have come in and try and take Mbeumo themselves. It is happy days for Man United fans. Trust me on this one, this guy is going to make a huge difference to United. But the big news today is, of course, United's search for a new striker. We're talking about Benjamin Sesko, we're talking about Nicholas Jackson and others. But these two have caused a huge stir in Man United fans. Some fans saying that Jackson is good enough, and then some people saying Sesko is good. Some people saying Jackson is absolutely terrible, and some fans saying that Sesko is too young, doesn't have any experience of the Premier League, so it's a huge risk and he could be another Højlund on our hands. What do you think? Drop your comments below. We want to hear from all Man United fans. If you're a Man United fan and you're passionate about your club, drop your comments below on who you feel should be the next striker to join Man United. It's going to be a massive signing, probably the biggest signing of the summer transfer window, if not in the last 5-10 years, because it's going to be pivotal for our success. If United get this wrong and we sign another striker who's useless, we will be back down in the dumps, and in fact we might not ever get out of this. Whereas if we sign a top striker, a striker that actually gives us goals, can finish off what is needed, we might actually get out of this rut. That is a big signing. It's a big signing. For me personally, I know it's a huge signing and I would go for a Premier League proven striker. Is that Nicholas Jackson? Absolutely not. I think he's useless. I really do. I know some fans will be upset hearing that. Some fans will say, what are you talking about? Because I've had some backlash already with Nicholas Jackson. Some people saying he is a top player. He can do the job at United. He's better than Højlund. But look, we can't really compare anyone to Højlund right now, can we? Højlund has had a terrible season last season, so you can't really take the worst season a player's had and compare that to another player who might have had a decent season. That's not going to happen. Now we need a proven Premier League goal scorer, a goal scoring threat, and for me that is someone like Ollie Watkins. If you look at his stats, they're very, very good for a Premier League striker. Yes, he's played a little bit more games and he's had a few more starts ahead of Nicholas Jackson. He's a decent striker. You know what you're going to get from him, and the risks are low. The risks are low. He's experienced. The only negative that you have with Ollie Watkins is that he's 29 years old compared to Nicholas Jackson, who's aged 24, and Sesko, who's even younger at the age of 22. Who do you go for? Who do you go for? It's such a mind-boggling question, because for me, instincts would say go for something tried and tested like Ollie Watkins, but my heart would say go for someone like Benjamin Sesko, someone who could get you off your seat, someone who can excite you, a young player that you can mould into one of the best players in the world. But are we in a position to do that right now? Or will it be too much pressure for someone young to come in and lead the line for United? I think it's too much pressure. I genuinely do. I think Sesko would be a perfect player if we had a seasoned striker next to him. If we had someone like Watkins next to him and Sesko came in, it would be absolutely perfect. But we cannot do that. We haven't got the money. So it is one striker or nothing. and that's where I think Ollie Watkins comes in. The only issue, like I said, is his age. I think he's still got a couple of years left on his contract. Aston Villa are going to play silly buggers. They're not going to let him go on the cheap, and that's where United, even on a loan, I don't think they can even get him on a loan. I'd love for United to go out there and see if we can get him on a loan, but this is going to be, these three players are the ones United are looking at. There's no one else right now United are looking at, but it's guaranteed. We've heard from David Ornstein, we've heard from Fabrizio Romano and other transfer gurus that United have confirmed that they will be making at least 3 more signings this summer. So that means they have made inquiries, they know exactly who they're going for, and they will be making them moves. We're being told that United have made contact with Sesko and his club to discuss what is needed to take him away and bring him to United. That is obviously just informal discussions. A lot more serious discussions take place once United think about everything and agree or decide to go for a certain player. So if it's Sesko, they're probably going to go back to the drawing board, work out how much they're going to offer, and then make a formal approach for Sesko. Right now, it looks like United are just deliberating over who to go for, whether to go for Jackson, whether to go for Sesko, or whether to hold a fire and just simply go for someone like Ollie Watkins and guarantee themselves some experience, Premier League experience. Now let's move on to the segment of the show where we discuss outgoing selling players of United. What's going on with transfers out? Well, Rashford has finally reached Barcelona. He's done his medical and he's been announced. Great news for him. Look, I genuinely am happy for Rashford. It's his dream come true. He wants to play for Barcelona. Of course, he fell out of love with United. We don't know what happened there, and we can't really start jumping to conclusions either. I like Rashford. He's a homegrown talent and the future was bright for him. And we all know that being in a toxic environment with the Glazers in charge is never good. And if you've seen your boyhood club being destroyed by the likes of the Glazers and then Ineos come in as well and not offer anything different, of course Rashford must have thought, all right, I'm out of here. I can't handle this anymore. And he might have left. And there must be other reasons as well. I don't know. And I don't really care. What I do care for is that the guy goes out there, does well, and increases his valuation, right? Increases his valuation, and then Barcelona end up buying him, and we make some money on that. I wish him, of course, the best luck as well. I want him to go and smash it out in Barcelona as well. I really like Rashford, and he is an ex-Man United player, and I love all ex-Man United players. Now, Atletico Madrid have shown huge interest in Antony. They're talking about making a move for him. This is great news as well, because we knew Real Betis can't afford him. The 40 million price tag, or just about 40 million for Antony, I think is realistic, and I think Atletico Madrid might be able to negotiate something for him there. Hopefully in the next day or two we get some news on the Antony deal to Atletico Madrid. Now the deal for Jadon Sancho to Juventus has gone a little bit quiet. A couple of days ago we did hear that this was a done deal. Juventus were going to move through and get it all done and dusted, but then it went quiet. We're hearing that Man United are sticking to the valuation of around 15 million, which if you ask me is a complete and utter bargain. What a player you're going to get for 15 million. And Juventus are working their way through the paperwork and will get this deal done. We're told to relax on this deal. It is done and dusted. Juventus will get their man and Sancho will be leaving United. Other players that we're talking about here, Malacia, nothing really much heard of him either on what any clubs that might be interested in him, but we do need to make these sales. We need to make these sales quick, and we need to get some money in, because if we don't get the money in, we're not going to be able to go out there and buy any players. The one player that there's hardly any discussion on is Garnacho. Now we're thinking this could mean that Garnacho may end up staying at United. We've not heard anything, not from our sources, nothing. No one is talking about Garnacho leaving United this summer. So United might think there's some hope in Garnacho and getting him back on track. He is a young lad. Of course he's emotional, and if United can hone in on that and get him to settle down, I think that'll be probably the best bet for United right now. Rather than allowing Garnacho to just simply go for next to nothing, he's a future star. You might as well keep hold of him and work on him, and hopefully he can improve as a player. That is it for today's show, guys. Make sure you hit the like button on this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on notifications. You're watching the Man United Stream channel by the fans for the fans.